Yay! Apparently we're live. It says we're live. So if anybody's listening, welcome. This is our very first one. This is John and I trying out LinkedIn Live and trying to pick a subject which we hope people will be interested in Agile Change Agent. So just a quick introduction. I'm Martyn Kinch. So I'm a Director of Training ByteSize, and we're a training company. And one of the areas I love is Agile Change Agent. I think it's a great course. I think what it teaches and what it brings across. And John is our lead trainer on Agile Change Management. Hello, John.
How do you do? Yeah. Hello again, Martyn. Seems only last week we were together.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about it. Now, we've never done this before. There's a comment screen I can see on my right. So if you have any questions, please ask them so we can see what they look like, and then we can answer them. John and I plan to do this just really for 15 minutes to informally try it out as well. So it'd be useful to do it. But both of us really like Agile Change Agents, so we thought it was a good subject to look at. So John, you and I worked together quite a bit on Agile Change Agent course. So what we find is a lot of interest in corporates. And obviously, a lot of these companies are going through change at the moment. And we have change management, and we have Agile PM. Where does the Agile Change Agent fit in that triangle?
Yeah, well, the Agile Change Agent really broadens the subject out to much wider within organizations. So many of those people that are touched by changes in some ways would benefit from this course to get a little bit of the theory, which will support the work that they do with regard to change management. Now, the full foundation and practitioner change management course, you get armed with much depth of theory there. Okay, and that's really interesting for a change manager to know, but not everybody really needs to understand that. The same with kind of agile project management. Project managers, team leaders in an agile environment really going to benefit from that discipline. But if we're part of the team, it's just some of the essential kind of concepts and techniques which are really useful for us to know, which the Agile Change Agent kind of perfectly conveys.
So we have someone that's done change management in a company. They're going through a big change. This might be part of what's happening in the world today. So they would have some key people trained up in change management, but then implementing that change, the people within the teams, people seconded in, people that are coming in to be part of that, don't need to be change managers. So this is where you see the Agile Change Agent being right, because they understand enough to help and work within it, but they don't need to be a change manager or an Agile PM.
That's exactly right. And the language that's used, the terminology that's used in the Agile Change Agent really is a simplification of what we see there in both change management and the more formal Agile PM disciplines. It's everyday terminology, and it's kind of really easily translatable into the kind of the bigger disciplines there.
Yeah. So some of the companies we've been working with have almost been taking the change manager into the change agent, but then they've been doing a little bit of tidying up, and they've not bespoken. Is that the right word?
Yeah, that's it. So the Agile Change Agent kind of lands really well with these people that we need to implement change, to connect different groups within an organization. I mean, even the definition of a change agent in the formal change agent discipline is one of those kind of connector people, one of those networking people. Really great at developing rapport, developing trust, and bringing different groups together.
Yeah, I'm just looking if I've got any comments, but I can't see where the comments come up. So I'll be interested. I've got this button here, and I can show them on the end of the screen, but there isn't one there at the moment. So we'll just carry on chatting about it. So the foundation and effectively the Agile Change Agent is it a foundation level certification?
Is it about the knowledge foundation level examination? Yes.
And so the ones we've been doing, it's a multiple choice exam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Straight, very much like the other foundation level exams, 50 question, 50% pass mark.
That's right. Yeah. And
40 minutes?
The discipline in 40 minutes, yeah. And the discipline, I would say, for the exam and the level of questioning would be equivalent to what we would see in some of the other disciplines that we teach. But there's more everyday language in it. Okay, so there's some terms that we need to get to grips with in Agile Change Agents, such as agile iterations, discovery work, these kind of terms. But when it comes down to it, it's developing an outline plan for our roadmap and thinking about when we can deliver business value into the organization.
Yeah, it's good. We've seen a good uptake on the base, haven't we? We've seen a good uptake with a number of people we're starting to take the courses for, and quite a spread in different type of business.
That's right. And some of the businesses that we've worked with, some in retail, some in the transportation sector, some in the government sector, and on all of those sessions, a part of what the people who are attending are doing is developing plans for what they're going to do when they get back to their real work environment. So they're finding that the course is actually enabling them to do some work when they're away from their office environment. Mind you, having said that, a lot of us have been away from our office environment over the past year, haven't we? But still connected by various means.
It's a very much hands-on, isn't it? It's very different to a lot of the traditional foundation style courses. There's a lot more hands-on there, and exercises and group sessions.
That's right. And we find that kind of delegates have kind of really appreciated being kind of placed into these virtual workshops with some of their colleagues to kind of plan what's going to do next, or consider how they might address a particular aspect of their own change.
Do you find, because you're an experienced change manager, change management trainer, do you find the transference of skills from doing change in Agile PM to Agile Change Agent? Do you find that very straightforward?
It's pretty much straightforward, yeah. A lot of the delegates that we've had, in fact, are already familiar or accredited, actually, in change management or agile project management, and they find the approach that the Agile Change Agent course takes really kind of simplifies all of their knowledge, condenses their knowledge, which they find makes it easier for them to kind of transfer and go and speak about change and agile in their own organizations.
So there's much of an overlap. So if I've done a change management foundation course or foundation and practitioner, is this not revisiting a lot of those things, or does it add a lot of value to that?
I think it adds a lot of value, because some of the practical work we do on the Agile Change Agent course, we don't really get an opportunity to do. For example, on Change Agent, what we're really looking at there is some of the theories around learning, some of the theories about the way people go through change, and the psychological and physical support they might need to work through that change. It's about setting up kind of learning environments, whereas in the Agile Change Agent course, we get hands-on in developing a kind of roadmap for a particular change or part of a change in our organization. And we're bringing in lots of kind of agile ideas and concepts into that.
Is there any prerequisites? So would I need to have done any other project management or agile or change courses, or could I attend this quite confident?
I think from a base of, this is the first training that you've ever been on since you've been in a work environment, it kind of makes sense from kind of that point forward. I had a number of people who've kind of said, we're quite new to this, we're a bit unsure about whether we're going to understand it all. But because the way the handbook is presented and the way the course has been put together, it's really, really accessible. And experienced people don't feel as though it's, you know, they're going back to nursery school or anything. They find it kind of all quite relevant and say, oh my goodness, this is so useful in being able to get some of these more difficult kind of concepts across.
Would you say, so when doing this course with what we've discussed, is it something where people take away something that they can tailor and use after the course a lot easier than they can perhaps with other courses? Because you're doing a lot of exercises around what the current issues are, aren't you? And how the change has been implemented.
We are. And, you know, some of the feedback that we've got after the classes are, this has given me a way forward, a plan of what I'm going to be doing next week.
Wow.
Now, it tends to be that kind of groups of people from an organization. So they're working together. They're starting that agile collaboration actually in the class or the virtual classes as we've been delivering mostly. So they're able to kind of develop connections with people that they might have to kind of reach out a little bit in their work environment or virtual work environment to get to know. But in the exercises in the class, they really get to know each other well.
I was chatting to the APMG about it. It's interesting with the Agile Change. It's one of the, to remember the stats for it, but it's one of the fastest growing certifications they've had in the time it's been around. Sure, lots of things grow, but Agile Change Agent, or Agile CA as I call it, Agile Change has really hit the ground running. So it does seem to resonate really well with a particular type of learner or particular organization, because it is, it's certainly in the stats they get back. More people are taking Agile CA exams than any other subject in a short time scale. And very popular. So that's only good news, isn't it, for us?
Well, that's great for us, and growing. Some of the organizations that we're working with to use Agile Change Agent as the basis for onward teaching within their organization, they've been looking at, you know, which module from Agile Change Agent can we take? Can we take that idea, and how do we adapt that to our own change method?
It's quite, because there's quite a lot. I do see there just seems to be overlaps. I mean, some of the work around stakeholders and things, there seems to overlap with some of project management techniques as well. But generally, does it overlap much into other certifications, or do you think it's a fairly standalone certification?
I think it's a good grounding for when you progress into some of the other certifications. In fact, this idea of, you know, stakeholder analysis, but they call it a community map. Okay, so they're just using a slightly more kind of friendly language there, and this idea of kind of following effectively the road to your vision by developing an agile roadmap kind of really resonates with a lot of people. And in fact, Martyn, we've been invited to run workshops after the course to facilitate organizations developing their own roadmaps. They like the idea of having an external objective facilitator there that maybe can ask some of the questions, maybe some of the awkward questions, which kind of people feel uncomfortable asking when they're part of the organization. So that's
sorry, it's quite interesting.
That's been really encouraging, that kind of we're invited in to kind of take Agile Change Agent further into their organizations.
So most of it actually is fairly generic, but most people use. But the roadmap itself, the actual roadmap, that is something that people like, but then can be customized to each company's environment.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, it's really good. So I'm trying to think who would take it. So you and I have chatted about this, but typically, would it be anybody involved in planning any kind of change, or working in an agile environment, or a combination? Do you have in your head an ideal type of person?
First of all, I would say it's the people who are already accredited that want to bring about change in an agile way in their organizations.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
But almost everybody who's kind of touched by change in some way and is going to have to do a little bit of kind of planning around what they're going to do in their area to accommodate the change. And this role of a change agent, this kind of connection person in an organization, I think absolutely terrific course for such people.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it'll do really well. I mean, certainly the interest you and I've had and the companies you've been talking to have been really good. I don't think much else to ask really about it. I think we can see where it fits in. We know the type of people that it might apply to. We can see the benefits. We know the certification process. We know it's a good way forward. You've run a couple of courses, well, quite a few now, but you had a course last week. Generally, how do candidates get on with it? You get good feedback for it. You know, the interaction and the way the course works is very slightly different to a typical foundation course, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I would say there's a lot more opportunity for kind of exploring ideas, for explaining ideas. People are delegates on the courses are, I think, made less fearful, if that's the expression, by the fact that we're using everyday language there. You know, there's no heavy duty terminology to use.
Because a lot of it, we talk like some about Prince too, there's so much terminology to understand, isn't it? The way the process maps work, all the terminology. You don't get this same thing in Agile Change Agent.
No. I mean, you need a little bit just to, you know, hold a discipline or a subject together. But it's not heavy duty. There's not masses of documentation. It's kind of very light, or as we would say in Agile, it's very lean on documentation. Yeah, and it's really highly adaptable.
How are you getting on teaching it virtually? Because it's much more of a hands-on course, isn't it? I guess as soon as you get back in the classroom and teach it. But how are you getting on with it as a virtual course? Is it right. Challenging? Is it going well?
It is challenging, and what really supports the course is having a well set up delivery environment. And I would say that this idea of breakout rooms or syndicate rooms in the delivery technology is kind of vital to the success of this course. So we can put different groups of people together, so we can give them virtual whiteboards or documents that they can all contribute to and share, and then share with the main group when they come out of it. And
that's really good.
Yeah, so some people are kind of learning new technology ideas on the course. For those participants that are really kind of well used to using shared whiteboards and these collaborative facilities, they get even more out of the course.
Yeah, it's a really good course. I'm looking to see now. So this is new for you and me. Comments. I've got no comments, so that's good. You and I have managed to talk for 18 minutes and 30 seconds, which is more than we thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
How long we thought we'd last. As I've got no questions, I think it's a good exercise for you and I to understand how LinkedIn Live works. We've covered Agile Change Agent. We'll have a look at the recording and hopefully we'll do some more of these in the future. Now I hope we've got the hang of it, John. I don't know. What do you think? Does this look okay to you?
This looks fine to me, yeah. It's quite a nice chatty environment that we've got here, isn't it? Feels quite comfortable.
I mean, if we had some questions, it'd be even good, even better. But yeah, as you say, it's quite informal, isn't it, to be live and talk like this and just chat? I think it's brilliant. Really good. To use an American expression, I'm super excited. Okay. I'm going to, unless we've got any questions, I'm going to end the broadcast, and I'll get back to you, and we'll be able to download a copy so we can have a quick review of it, and I'll send it over to you. As always, John, lovely to speak to you. Thank you very much.
You, Martyn. Thank you very much. And thank you to anyone that was listening out there.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye then.